What up? It's your boy Wall Street, back again with another season review for a team that I honestly love watching. They have a lot of very interesting young players, and I just like the whole aesthetic of their team. The only international team in the NBA, the Toronto Raptors, that play up in the 6, Drake's favorite team. And I want to talk about the Raptors and how their season went and what they should be looking for going forward and just my overall thoughts on the team. But let's start with where they finished. So the Raptors finished with a record of 30-52. They were the last team out of the play-in tournament, and it was not close. They finished 7 games behind the Miami Heat, who had the 10 spot. And with a record of 30-52, honestly, I thought they were going to finish a lot worse. The fact that they were able to win 30 games, I thought was pretty impressive. They had a lot of players injured throughout the entire season. So it was you kind of knew that they were kind of not really trying to win, right? Like, it wasn't like they were out there trying to make the playoffs, right? And I think when they traded for Brandon Ingram, that was kind of confusing, but obviously I think that's a piece that they're trying to just use for next season. Because Brandon Ingram, did not, I don't even think he played a game for the Raptors this season. So he's obviously going to be a piece that they can use very nicely next season. I think he's going to fit very well with Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and whoever they pick in the draft. They, are going to have the 7th highest odds to get the number 1 pick in the upcoming 2025 NBA draft. So if, the odds work out exactly how they're supposed to, they'll pick 7th overall. Tankathon has them picking Kaman Maluak from Duke University as the 7'2" freshman. I think that would be the best pick. They do need a big man. I love Jakob Poeltl, but I don't think he is the center for the future. I think he's a great piece to have on your team, but I think Kaman Maluak and having that size, rim protection will be a little bit different and will help out a lot more. Because as good as Jakob Poeltl is, getting a guy like Kaman Maluak who is 7'2" and could just block shots with ease, it's just a game changer. But Scotty Barnes played 65 games this season, 19.3 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 5.8 assists. And it was a slight decline over last season. His 3-point percentage dipped a little bit. But much of the same. I personally think Scotty Barnes is one of the most underrated players in the league. I think he's going to have a big jump. Maybe next year, maybe it's the year after. He just signed a big contract. He's under contract until 2030 with the Raptors. So he's obviously their piece for the future. And I like what RJ Barrett's done. A lot of people wrote RJ Barrett off once he got traded from the Knicks. A lot of people thought RJ Barrett just was not really that good of a player once he got drafted. But compared to, Zion not being available and Ja's issues, off the court, RJ's proven to be a very good 3rd pick in that 2019 NBA draft. So I think he's great here in Toronto. Obviously, he's from Canada. So I think this is a great spot for him. He was the leading scorer this year on the team, 21.1 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 5.4 assists per contest. And Emmanuel Quickley only played 33 games, 17 points a game. I'm a big fan of Emmanuel Quickley. I think he's going to be he's definitely, I think, going to be an all-star at some point. He's just, no pun intended, he's extremely quick with the ball, one of the fastest players in the league. And he can score with ease, right? You can come off the bench and score. You can start and, put up 30. It doesn't matter. And then Grady, my guy Grady, he had a very much improved season over last season. Last season, I kind of thought, I was like, okay, I don't know if this dude's really going to pan out to be that good of a player. And he had a big jump. Early on in the season, I thought he might be, the most improved player, like by runaway. Like, he was really doing the most. Like, he was averaging 20 plus for a while. He had a couple games of 30, and then we'll put up 20 and then another 30 piece. So he's shown a ton of improvement. I think he's going to continue to improve. He's going to be an even better player next season. So that's going to be great for the Raptors and their fans, obviously. Ochai Agbaji has been playing a lot better. I think, people kind of forgot about him. He was a lottery pick, a couple years back. He has had the best season of his career with the Raptors, putting up double-digit points per game. So that was good for him. I'm a big fan. I'm also a big fan of Jamal Shed. 75 games, led the team in games played this season. Only started 11 of them, but got around 20 minutes a game, 7.1 points per game. And he just plays really hard. I'm a big fan of his game and what he does. I think when the Raptors traded Davion Mitchell, it kind of signaled to me that Jamal Shed's probably going to get some more time in the rotation, which I think is good. And I think Davion Mitchell being in Miami, that's good for them too. I'm a big fan of Davion Mitchell as well. But obviously, with the Brandon Ingram trade, they traded away Bruce Brown as well as Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk was a fan favorite up there in Toronto. He's also from Canada. And, Bruce Brown, I don't think was really putting much of an impact. He played 18 games with them before he got traded, but he hasn't really been the same, in my opinion, since he won with Denver. I think he got paid, and then he kind of, he just wasn't able to really live up to that hype again. But we haven't really seen him in a deep playoff run since then. So we'll see what happens. It is what it is. But as far as this team, honestly, I could have seen this team, if they really had everyone healthy, I think they could have made the playoffs. I think this team fully healthy is better than the Hawks. So I think they're definitely getting into the play-in tournament. And the thing I like about their coach, Darko, what's his last name? It's Darko something. It's so much passion in this guy's voice. Darko Rajakovic, probably mispronouncing that. I apologize, Darko. I'm a big fan. But he was talking about Brandon Ingram, and he's like, I don't really want to change his game. Everybody's talking all this trash about, he takes too many mid-range shots, this, that, whatever. And he's like, take mid-range shots. If you're going to make that shot, it's okay, right? So if you're going to make 80% of your mid-range shots, you're only going to make 30% or 35% of your threes, take the mid-range if you have the open shot. So I vibe with that. I think people hate on the mid-range game. But I think Brandon Ingram is one of the best mid-range shooters we have in the game, if not the best. DeMar DeRozan is definitely up there too. So it's not a pointless shot, guys. The mid-range is cash if you got it like that. So I say do it. But yeah, I think this team has a lot of potential. Obviously, their goal next season, I think, is the playoffs. If they're fully healthy, I think that's a very attainable goal. I think they can. I'm not sure if they'll be a top 6 seed, but I think they'll definitely be in the play-in tournament. Depending on the luck they have in the draft, maybe they shoot up to the number 1 pick. Maybe they get Cooper Flagg. Maybe they get a top 4 pick. Maybe they get Dylan Harper or an Ace Bailey or something like that. I do think Kaman Maluak fits their team perfectly. I think getting a center like that would be really good for them. I think they could get other good players as well, but they're fairly good at most positions. I feel like center is where they can improve, though. Like I said, Jakob Poeltl is a great center, but I don't think he fits how this team is built right now. I think they're kind of trying to build long, lanky at every position, and that works for Sky Barnes, that works for Brandon Ingram, that works for RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley. I think these are all bigger players, quick, athletic. Jakob Poeltl is not the most athletic big, and I think adding Kaman Maluak would just be the icing on the cake here. I think they're definitely a playoff team, even if they don't add Kaman Maluak, but adding him and building for the future there, this team's got a lot of potential. So I'm super excited. I'm a big fan of the Toronto Raptors. Just as a fan of the NBA, I think they do. I think that team, just being the only team in Canada, it really is a good thing. Adam Silver's talked about expanding, the NBA, maybe putting a team in Mexico. I think if that happens, it's going to be a similar effect where there's going to be a whole country behind a team as opposed to, the Hornets where you have just like Charlotte behind them, or you just have like the Knicks where New York is behind them and things like that, right? It's like having a whole country behind you is a different type of vibe. And, I was a big fan of their championship run with Kawhi Leonard. That was one of the most awesome playoff runs I've just ever seen in my life. And I want them to replicate it because the Raptors have great fans. They have great fans, and they deserve a great team. And I honestly can say I think Masai Ujiri has done a great job putting this team together. Big fan of their coach, Darko, and they have great young players. Great young players. So this team's going to be super exciting over the next couple of years. I hope and pray that they stay healthy because that's really all they need in order to be successful, man. I'm really, really high on this team. And if you're a Raptors fan, I'd be excited because even though you didn't make the playoffs this year, it's all good. I think this is a stepping stone to being even greater for a longer period of time. So it's going to be awesome, man. It's going to be awesome. If you're a Raptors fan, please chime in the comments down below. I want to know your thoughts about your team. Where do you think they're going? What do you think they should do this upcoming offseason to get better? I want to know your thoughts. So let's talk, let's link, let's build, let's do all that. And I'm going to catch you guys later, man. Stay safe, stay up, stay humble, stay blessed, handle business, stand on business. Peace out.